Hello and welcome to a patch review video. Patch 14.2 will be live tomorrow, so I'm going to do like I did last time and give a patch review. These obviously are from MORTDOG YouTube channel. I'll put the link below, but make sure to like, subscribe, and follow to MORTDOG, who gives these updates. Riot Dev, great guy, and credit to him for these slides. But I'm going to give my take on it, similar to last time. It's going to be a lot shorter because I think this patch is significantly smaller. I did a quick skim of it, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel as well if you like my daily TFT content. Alright, let's start. System changes. So, portals. They're getting rid of Silver Symphony and Decrescendo. Decrescendo was the one I was worried about the most. I remember when they were introducing it. I remember he mentioned it because this was when I was actually watching the video. He was like, yeah, like people play towards Recon Bob. Basically, like the strat was like there's this augment called Recon Bob, which basically levels up everything on your units. And if you hit it on 4-2, which is the last augment stage, you could just like giga cap out your board. Because imagine if you go for like imagine if on 4-1 you roll for a 3-star, which very often happens, a 3-star 3 cost, then all of a sudden you hit Recon Bob, you have a 3-star 4 cost, and you win the game for free. It hadn't happened in one of my games, but some people tried and it missed, and I was always scared of it, which is why I didn't take Decrescendo, and a lot of times I stopped taking Silver Symphony because I kept getting screwed over by it. In Silver Symphony more so than Decrescendo. So they removed it, fine, that's good. Cruel Pact can no longer be offered in Radiant Blessing Portal. I never had this issue, but yeah, it just seems like it's overpowered because you have two like giga strong things, and then like the guy just wins for free. Okay, Headliner. This is really important if you didn't know about this. Like there was this bug that if you bought, like let's say you saw like Crowd Diver Yone in shop, you wouldn't be able to see another Crowd Diver unit for like the rest of your shops, for example, like for like 4 shops or something. So you would have to buy and sell it if you want to see that unit after. And it was like fucked up. So now they like removed it, and they removed like basically the rules that you have to buy sell, which is a good change, I think. Streak notifications is just for visual clarity, so it was still showing like the little fire things on the 4 streaks, I think. So now it's showing you different. This is maybe either a big or a small change. So what it's saying is that they're changing the recommended items for like this is basically like when you hover a unit, there's like those recommended items and you can see like what to put, and they're basically changing like 80 carry and 80 caster to instead of have like Edge of Night to have red buff, and instead of like Bloodthirster or Hodge for caster because caster wants mana. These might be small changes or they might be big changes. Like obviously it's just good for new beginner players because it gives you like better items, because with these type of 80 carry or 80 caster, a lot of times Edge of Night was very specific to certain units and it wasn't that good to make for the other ones, and red buff and Hodge are a little bit better. But the thing that could change is that there's things like binary airdrop. Like there's augments that give your units an item for free, right? Like binary airdrop. And it's been suspected, I don't know if it's been confirmed because they try to be like not transparent sometimes with these things, but like they say that they probably pull those items or from the recommended items list. So if you're changing the recommended items list to have better items, it can buff indirectly those type of augments that give them an item, or either binary airdrop or what is it, like the Thieves Gloves one, where it gives them like BIS items, or it gives them like the proper items. Those ones might actually be buffed indirectly. So yeah, Lucky Gloves is what I was thinking of. Large traits, they're nerfing Disco. I don't even like Disco, so I don't care about this. You know what? These are fine. The change on the healing for 6 Disco isn't as big as the change on attack speed for 4 Disco, but I think it makes it weaker early game, but your late game still going to be the same board. Because like I think the attack speed starts to not matter if you have Sona. That's basically how Disco works. If you have enough, if you hit Sona 2 and you have Sona items, it doesn't actually matter. Usually you drop to even like 3 Disco sometimes. If you're playing it really well, excuse me. Mosher, adding attack speed on the 6th one, it might make vertical Mosher front lines a little bit more viable. And then they're buffing Punk. It looks like a little bit, what is it? It's like 20. The 6 Punk maybe is a little bit bigger, but the 4 Punk is also good. And the base AD looks like it looks good as well. I think Punk was really weak, but I kind of liked it like that. I don't want Punk to turn into like a broken thing. But this might just be indirectly because like they're gonna nerf. I don't know if they're nerfing Executioners this patch, but they're definitely gonna nerf Double Trouble because they were talking about that a lot. So it might just help like Twitch Vex become stable if you're not playing Double Trouble, which I think it already is, but whatever. Small Jinx buff. I don't know how big that is because buff figure AD when she's like an attack speed unit, it seems like it might stockpile and make Jinx really viable. I'm not sure she's gonna be like busted, like, you know, going first type shit. But I think she'll be like more clickable at least, right? Surely. Then we have Kennen buffs to HP. I think that's fine. More Cassante nerfs. I felt like Cassante was already a little bit disappointing this patch after the nerfs that they did. But a lot of these 1-star frontline units, I don't even feel like going for them a lot of the time. Like there's never a point where I'm thinking to myself, oh damn, I really need my Cassante 2 and my Kennen 2 on deck here to win this game. It's like, I don't know. I don't feel too strongly about it. It might change the way you play early game. Maybe Kennen, it's like that patch where Kennen was broken. Maybe Kennen, like Superfan Kennen with Radiant item, can just streak you the whole game. I don't know. I don't think so though. Katarina was already a really good unit, so giving her extra spell damage, I think it makes it really strong. Like they already, I think they're probably gonna nerf Yone in some way this patch. If they don't, that's crazy because he's like so strong. But buffing Katarina is probably like to compensate for that a little bit, which I think is fine. But I think Katarina was already busted. Like I feel like you could have gone Cat reroll at any point in this during this patch, and you would still be like top 4ing. Like it wasn't like undoable. A lot of times it was like your max cap, right? But maybe now you can prio Katarina instead. Like you can do that trick like people did last patch, not last patch, like last set, where like if you see somebody going for Yone and you want to play Crowd Divers, then you just take Katarina and you just 3-star Katarina and you have that as the primary, and then you deal with Yone later after that guy dies. But I don't know, that's gonna be toxic, I think. Kale, they reworked her. I don't know what to do about this. Like I don't know how it's gonna be, right? It's reworked, so now she deals magic damage, and now she immediately deals AoE damage and applies shred. Like it sounds broken. Like I don't think it's not even like broken like maybe she can carry. It sounds broken just to have a Kale on your board. She immediately does AoE shred. Like she's just a free Ionic Spark. It's like if you're playing Karthus, it's good. If you're playing any magic caster, it's good. You just throw her on there and she just like does shred for you for free. Like what? I know she already did shred, but I don't think it was immediate, right? I thought it was like every 4th attack on the AoE. But like if it's like constant shred and you give her like an attack speed item, or like I don't know, like she sounds like she's gonna be really good just to slash on the board, or like just buff the Karthus board a lot. Passive deals magic down in each. I mean, we'll have to see the numbers, I guess. It might be good. She was already like barely viable. I think people were really forcing it to work out, so I think she might be like a carryable unit now. We'll see. Corki buffs, like are they nerfing 8-bit or something? Like this guy was already broken. Like this is one of the best starts you can get, was Corki start still, even though they nerfed him already. Lilia buffs, sure. Oh, they changed the categorization of Olaf to 80 fighter. That's good. Actually, it's okay. It's pretty good. I think before he was in like an 80 tank, so he would often get tank items. But like the categorization, I think affects like what I was saying before, the binary and the lucky glove stuff. So you know it could help out a lot. Nerfing Yasuo a little bit. I think this is good. I got really annoyed with Yasuo, thinking that he was like really broken, and then I tried hard forcing Yasuo and I went 8th 2 times in a row. So now I understand that Yasuo is like a very sometimes food. And I felt like, you know, because I kept seeing Yasuo's top 4, and I'm like, why? How is this unit so fucking broken? I felt like he wasn't that broken before. It was just a little bit overtuned, but you still needed to play him from a spot. Like, you couldn't just play him whenever you wanted to. You couldn't just be like, oh, I'll just play Yasuo 3 from this angle. You had to, like, natural it still, which was really important. And I think the small change, I think that's fine. I think they hit it right on the head. Like, that's like a perfect change. Just a small little tweak. A little bit less damage, so that he's not as consistent early into mid game, and that's about it. They buffed attack speed on Jax. I don't know if Jax reroll is going to come back. If they nerf all the other rerolls and the meta becomes even faster paced in terms of like playing more 1-star, 1 cost and 2 cost units, then maybe. But I think like the problem with Jax is that like you want to be on line stage 3 and cap out your board stage 4, but stage 4 everybody caps out around like 3-star rerolls and 4 costs, and the Jax after the nerfs was a little bit hard to do that. So you have to play like Lux primary carry, but if you're playing Lux carry then you're not really buying many Jaxes, because a lot of times you can play Lux carry without even having the Jax, and you just play like a Dazzler Bruiser frontline, I think, with some of the comps in China. So I don't know. I hope they don't bring this unit back. I fucking hated Jax. That shit was so annoying, so I'm okay with it. Just leave him at the bottom. Okay, this one's the one for me. I saw this and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? Guys, Lulu is busted. It was busted last patch. I got, okay, spoiler to anybody who hasn't seen, the videos in the works. I'm gonna post the video sometime this week. I'm a little bit behind schedule. I hit Masters, right? Yay! I should put like a sound effect, but for those that know, it's been a long journey. I finally did it. I'm really proud of myself. It was because of this Lulu unit. Nobody plays it. Maybe now that it's getting buffed again, people will play it. It's crazy how good Lulu is, especially in this meta, right? Basically what would happen is there'd be like TF players, there'd be Karthus players, right? So they kind of beat like an Ahri board, or like a typical frontline backline board, because they kind of scam the backline, right? They shoot around your tank units, so your backline dies and then they deal with the tanks later, right? And then those Karthus, those Yone, Riven, and other melee units like crowd divers, or just in general like melee carries, were really strong last patch, right? And what beats melee carries? Lulu just stuns them. Ahri just destroys them. Like, you just play Lulu Ahri dual carry. And the thing with Lulu is that if you prioritize Lulu instead of Ahri, Lulu would sometimes beat TF and Karthus, because she would cast and do like the stun that lasts like 10 years on the backline. And as soon as you stun the backline, that whole team falls apart, because like they lose everything. They lose all their damage. So this Lulu unit was busted. I started playing Lulu reroll from spots because I said to myself, I literally looked at the board, I looked at all the units, I'm like, what can I play here that is easy to hit, that I can win out against these fucking melee carries? And it was Lulu Ahri. So I found a way to play it, and the main way to play it was not just to play Ahri, because Ahri is the main counter to the melee units, was to play Lulu as well, and just 3-star Lulu. And trust me, it was like a guaranteed top 4 almost every time. I had the worst spots imaginable. I played like shit, and this Lulu was broken, right? I strongly believe that. Like, I don't think it's like a firstable comp unless you high roll, but obviously if you high roll, everything's a firstable comp. It's good. And now they buffed it again. Like, I think Lulu might be a problem this patch. I think it would have been a problem last patch, right? If people just played it more often. I think people just don't like it because she looks like a little shitter instead of like a cool person with a sword, right? But like, trust me, this is broken. This is gonna be good. There's no way it won't be good. I think the only problem is it might be too contested, so you might not be able to play it. Riven nerfs. So Riven, I love Riven. I tried to draw a heart the first time and I fucked up, but I'll draw another heart. I love Riven. I love 8-bit because I always liked 8-bit. Even when 8-bit was bad, I tried hard forcing 8-bit so many times. I hit the juice or cash out. You know, I just wanted to be an 8-bit master, and having Riven carry was pretty fun. I hit master with Riven. That was the game I actually won out because I just got uncontested Riven. I just went first. This doesn't seem like that big of a nerf, so I think it'll still be playable. I think it just won't be like giga contested. Like 90% AD, that's not under cast, that's like in general. She just has like a 10% damage nerf, which I think is fine, because Riven was like firstable if you got full 8-bit stack. So I think that like now you have to play Riven from a spot. You can't just play Riven, right? Like, this won't matter if you start stacking 8-bits early. Like, if you get a Riven opener where you have like a Corki and Riven items, and Corki holds Riven items, and then you level up and you play it, then I think Riven is still playable, right? I just think that you can't be like, oh, well, fuck, it's a Riven game, and you just like play for Riven. You just like have 0 Riven and you go Riven on, because now like 2-star Riven won't be as stable, and like the other stuff won't be as stable, so you can't just like pivot into it and just say, oh, I guess I'm Riven this game. Which I think is fine. I think whenever you have, if you can ever do that with the unit, I think the unit's too strong. Okay, Urgot got some spell 8, like the nerfs on his ult thing. Yeah, that's fine because he's now dealing 50% bonus damage if his ability only hits one target. So he's like a cleanup crew now, which I think is fine. He has a little bit of a nerf on his spell. I felt like Urgot was already really strong. So I think that this makes him so that, like, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to make him less of like a, he just kills off the whole board and he's like impossible to kill and he just wins the game type of situation. Because a lot of times you have an Urgot early and you can just win out all of stage 2 and all of stage 3 depending on it, depending on your other team comp. But now I think that they're trying to make it so that like he's still strong if he's like the last unit alive, but or like if he's like in a 1v1, but like if he's just spreading damage, he does less. I think that's a fine change. I feel like this unit was kind of broken, but you know, it's I think this is fine. This is big. Vex, they're cutting your stun duration in half. Now, I think Vex still has the ability to like one-shot and is still going to be very strong with Executioner. It just won't be fucking broken. Like, holy shit, the stun was so stupid. Like, oh my god, I was on the verge. I don't know. This is a good change. This unit was broken, but I think the damage output is still going to be good, so I think it's still playable. Right? I don't think it's actually going to affect, like, I think you'll still be able to play, like, Executioner reroll or 6 Executioner and still, like, wipe a whole board. You know what I mean? It just won't be crazy. They reworked Karthus. I don't know if this is going to be broken or not broken. I think it's going to be broken, especially with the Kale changes. What the fuck is this? Karthus' ability will now always crit? What? You're always playing 2 Executioner. Like, what are they talking about if it's able to? It's like, when are you playing Karthus without Executioner? Like, of course, you don't have to make it, like what? You're playing Karthus, no Executioner? So he's always gonna crit. This is what it means. It means he's always gonna crit. Okay, cool. He's always gonna crit. I guess that's fine, in a way. Yeah. It just means he's always doing max damage if he's hitting your backline. So you just have to be ready for it. So certain comps are gonna have to struggle a lot. What I think this does is it makes rerolls a little bit stronger again. Because, like, imagine you're playing, like, TF into Karthus, and then you just one-shots your TF, right? Before there was, like, a chance you can scam it out and, like, live a couple times. But if he's always critting, his output damage is, like, I don't know, it's like a 50% increase to damage, right? Because, like, Executioner with, like, JG was, like, a 50% crit chance, right? So now it's, like, he has, like, a 50% increase to damage almost, like, kinda, right? Karthus gains bonus AP based on his crit chance. Okay, cool. This was the other part that I didn't like. So now, if you stack crit on him, he gains more AP. So now you can just build crit. Like, now you can just, like, triple JG him. Fuck it. JG, JG, JG. AP, AP, AP. I don't know. Well, it's not triple JG. It's a mana item, but you know what I mean. No longer gains mana from kills. That's fine. They changed that, so that's good. Because, like, if he killed a bunch of people and then he casts again, it was really fucking weird. Gains 30 AP each time he casts. So now you want him to cast fast. It's like, I don't know what the optimal build is. That's why I can't tell how broken it is or if it's broken. It sounds like it's broken, but it's like, do you stack crit? Do you stack attack speed? Right? Are you trying to make him, like, gain AP? Are you stacking mana so that he just gains AP and he kills, and then you're playing with Executioner so he has, like, the crit? Right? I don't know. Is it, like, augment specific? If you get Jewel Gauntlet with this guy, is you just fucking Jewel Gauntlet go burr? Right? Or are you just stacking AD anyways? Like, before the build was always just stack AD, right? You'd make, like, if you could, you'd make, like, Rabadons, Archangels, and, like, I don't know, mana item like a Shojin. They nerfed TF. I don't even think TF was good. I don't know. I played this comp and I felt like it kind of sucked. So, like, I don't know. Whatever. I didn't like the disco line anyways. It was so bait to me. I think it was good, but it was just like you need a really good spot for it. Like, you couldn't play TF from a lose streak, because if you missed your board and you didn't go 9, you lose anyways. And if it's a comp where it's like you have to play from a win streak, it's like, okay, cool, I can play anything from a win streak. I don't know, I didn't like it. I don't really care. MF buffs. I don't know if this changes anything. I think recently people have been talking about like you build Kaisa instead of MF. I haven't tried building Kaisa instead of MF because every time I play MF I get that's Jazz, or recently I've had it. But I don't know if this changes things. I'll see what people say. I'll keep on the notes. Poppy 3 buffs. Now, if you guys have been faithful subscribers to my YouTube channel, you would have seen that one game I had a Poppy 3 and I fucking lost because I don't know, she just didn't do shit, right? I went 4th. So it's nice that they're buffing it. I think that this is a direct thing that makes me very happy. I'm gonna put a happy face because this is something that I was affected by directly and they've addressed it. So, you know, nice. Ezreal, I think Ezreal is already pretty strong, but this is for single target, so I think this is good. I think the problem with Ezreal is a lot of times you would like spread and hit a bunch of units and nobody would die, and it would be like okay, and then they would just heal back up. It's like it's crazy to buff his like overall damage because like that's stupid, like, you know, then he'd be broken. So I feel like this is actually a really good change. These are the types of changes I like to see because it's like, okay, this will make him a little bit more consistent. It's like if he's targeting a tank, maybe now he has enough damage to kill the tank, right? It doesn't affect him like wiping the whole back line and doing some crazy shit that makes him busted, but it makes him a little bit better at doing what he's supposed to do, which is just like, you know, shoot a big shot and hit the dude, you know. Now this is a big change for Sona. Holy shit, she no longer hits the target dummies and the tentacles. Yay. Unless there are no other allies alive. So, you know, we'll see if that really makes a difference. I felt like position wise, I felt like it just makes her a little bit more consistent. I think that's fine. Headliner bonuses, so now they're buffing Kaisa, which I think Kaisa Headliner was something that's like her headliner effect and stuff didn't really matter. I don't know if this buff makes her broken. I was just talking about it with the MF board. I don't think you ever pick MF because you ever pick Kaisa because you always want Bard with that version. You want like still the 3 Jazz. And Yone, they're cutting his HP and AD. I don't know if that makes him unclickable or not. It's 50 HP, right? So the problem is I don't know how that scales into 3-star, right? Is it just 50 HP when he's 3-star? How much is it when he's 3-star, right? Because you're never playing like Yone 1, and if you're playing Yone Chosen, it's like Yone 2-star. It's 50 HP. The AD ratio might be concerning. I think the problem is that like now I think Yone, especially with the Katarina changes, I think you're really greeting towards Crowd Diver. So what I think is gonna happen is, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that you might just take Crowd Diver Katarina to guarantee the 6 Crowd Diver, and then just play a Yone 3 like that if nobody's playing it, right? Or skip the Yone 3 and just go for 6 Crowd Diver and just play Cat carry, because the Cat changes seem kind of big. It's like 20. She's already did a bunch of damage, that's why it's really big. And her super fan item is a Hodge, and you just play Hodge JG was like the old Katarina build when you played Crowd Divers like that. I don't know, it seems like it might be really good. And then I think if Yone is unclickable, it might turn into just play Katarina for the Crowd Diver synergy. Just get plus Crowd Diver Katarina. If you hit Yone, you hit Yone, because they nerf the headliner anyways. But you know, regular Yone is regular Yone. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see how it plays out. They nerfed Yone and Riven, and they buffed Karthus. I don't think they nerfed them enough, in my opinion, that they're unclickable. I think now you just have to have the spot, right? Like, you can't just force Yone here and say I'm a Yone player. You have to have like a good Yone opener, and you kind of have to. You can't like play like I played Heartsteel Yone a couple times, and I just got top 4s because it was so broken. I think now you might need like to compensate for the damage. You might need to get like a Crowd Diver or at minimum Edgelord Yone. And for Riven, you might need like, I mean 8-bit or Edgelord doesn't matter for Riven because you always play 4 8-bit. You never really play towards Spat, but like, you know, I think that's also fine. All right, this is a big one. Twin Terror, they removed the crit chance and they're buffing the HP and the attack speed. I think I tried it once and I went bot 4, but I was playing a really bad spot. Like I didn't natural any Lulus, but I think Twin Terror Lulu is gonna be a thing now. like the crit chance basically before, because it gave crit chance, playing Twin Terror, the main board you would play was Vex and Twitch, right? And you would play Executioners because the extra crit chance helped the Executioners always crit. It did like a huge amount of damage, and it was absolutely fucking broken. Removing the crit chance greatly affects that board. They also removed the Vex stun, which was a huge part of that comp as well. So it's hard to say if it's going to be like a guaranteed top 4. Like right now, it was like if you saw Twin Terror, you just picked it and you played Vexamumu. If you're contested, you either contested and hope that you outlive the other guy, or you just, but you would never pass up on it, because it's like if uncontested was a free top 4. So you'd like wait, scout out, see if the other guy's playing Twin Terror, and if he doesn't hit Twin Terror, then you would play it, you know. They're buffing attack speed, especially on the Prismatic. The Prismatic one is the big change. 50% and 500 HP is a lot. So I think that like something like Twin Terror Lulu was already like kind of like in the whispers because of you know, just having like, she's like one of those units that she just does everything. She just fucking gives attack speed, she stuns, she does fucking she does so much damage. Right, and giving extra HP. You know what else is really good with HP? Bruisers, because they give percentage, right? You know what else is like great with Bruiser? Lulu, because you play Gragas and he's a Spellweaver. Just saying, right? You play Twin Terror, Gragas, Gragas, Lulu, just attack speed bot. Just, I don't know. It seems like, I don't know. Maybe there's another Twin Terror. I know Twin Terror as well. There's like Twin Terror Riven, and both these stats are really good for like Riven as well. But I think like the Vexamumu might still be playable, but I think it will be less played, if that makes sense. The gold augment's bigger shot. They're increasing the damage, which is crazy, because I felt like that augment was already pretty good. I think this will help out. Like, I usually like taking bigger shot if I was playing like Jazz reroll, because what would happen is, instead of getting a Jazz MF, you would get a big shot MF. Then you would push 8 and play Ezreal for 4 big shot, and it was pretty good. It was like, depending on like the matchups that you had, because matchups were really important in this patch as well as the last patch, but it was pretty good, especially if you know like a 3-star front line. So I think that that's like a good idea comp. Bigger shot works really well if you can cap your board really high. Like, it's basically really good with Heartsteel, because if you play Heartsteel and you go towards 9, you're playing Ezreal Jhin, and let's say you have a 5 Heartsteel game, and then you just play like a Jazz level 9 board, similar to like the Fast 9 meta when this set first launched. If you played that board, like the same board that exists there, that like 5 cost Jazz board, then I think bigger shot was really good, but it's kind of hard to take it. They also buffed Heartthrobs, which directly buffs Heartsteel. I felt like Heartthrobs was always, I don't know, it's not, I don't like taking it, because I feel like it always just baits, right? It just gives you like, like now it's giving 20% more Heartsteel hearts, so maybe it's broken. Before it was like so shit. It was like you keep 20% of your hearts, but it's like if you don't earn that many hearts, especially early game, you're just playing down an augment. And like in the middle game, does it really matter that you had it? It's like not really, because it's like 20, like keeping your hearts was like sounds good in theory, but a lot of times it would be like, oh, I had a 20 cash out, I kept like 2 hearts. Does that really help you hit the next threshold? Then you'd hit like 100 hearts, and it'd be like, oh yeah, I keep like 10. But it's like, well, I'm not going for another cash out anymore, because I have to fucking win the game. I'm 0 HP. I just lost all of stage 2 and all of stage 3, right? So that's why Heartthrobs felt really shit. At least to me. Like I played it like twice, I think, and both times I was like, I'm never taking this again. Earning 20% more hearts is different. That's like, could be a real thing, because a lot of times, like, you might be like slightly under a threshold, but in this case, it's not the same as what I was saying, where it's like you lose it and it's diminishing returns. It's like earning 20% more, even if you drop to 3 Heartsteel and you upgrade your board. You're not, like 20% is, I think I like it more. I don't know how to describe it well, because it sounds like I'm dumb, but I think it's gonna make it a lot more consistent, like stronger late game, because late game you earn more hearts from the stuff that's going on, and now you're not like shackled into like this false sense of like, oh, I need to cash out. Like if your cash out is griefed, it's not based on your previous cash out, is what I mean to say, right? If your previous cash out is bad and you upgrade your Heartsteel units, then your next cash out will still earn more. That's what I mean to say. How can I explain this better? Hopefully that makes sense. What I mean is like, okay, let's say you have like a shit cash out, right? Let's say you're playing like 3 Heartsteel and you get like a 20 cash out. If you had Heartthrobs before, the only thing that would matter is you would gain like +2 hearts, which is inconsequential. That doesn't matter at all, right? To making any sort of threshold. But now, the way it works is you don't care about your last threshold. If you had like 20 hearts last cash out, who gives a fuck? Whatever it is now, you're earning 20% more, which is going to be way more hearts, because if you have like 5 Heartsteel now, you're not carrying over 2 hearts. Instead, you're earning 20% more on 5 Heartsteel, which is what I mean to say. That's why it's going to work, and then you don't have to worry about another cash out because you'll be strong enough, and then you can just play the next game. There we go. That should make sense. If it doesn't, sorry. Last stand nerfs, that's fine. Submit to the pit, maybe broken. They buffed Moshers as well. It might be like a submit to the pit Mosher reroll. You play around like what's her name, Poppy carry. I don't know, sounds kind of good. You know what I think this might be? Like a Poppy Lux, or like a Poppy emo. Like you put a Vex in the back of there. Like, I don't know, there's some crazy shit you can maybe do. Too big to fail. I didn't ever get to play it, so I don't actually know what this is. I don't think I've ever taken it once, because I just see it and I'm like, yeah, I'm not playing bruisers. But it's nerfed, so I guess it was good before, my bad. Silver, good for something. They're increasing the gold drop chance. I think that's okay. Good for something, I think, was it was bugged, and then they nerfed it, and now I think people don't like it anymore, so they're buffing it. So I think that's fine, right? Because even when it was like the most broken that it was, it didn't feel that crazy. Right, but I guess because it's Silver Galaxy it is. I don't know, we'll see. Late game specialist, okay, whatever. More gold. I hate taking that shit. Goldmancer staff. This was broken, so they're nerfing it. Good. Thieves gloves, less likely to roll ideal items on 7, 8, 9. I think that's a good change, right? Because the non-lucky gloves, thieves gloves, there were so many times where I would look at a unit, I'd be like, I'm losing because this guy slammed thieves gloves, and all of a fucking sudden he has like bis items. Like, how the fuck does he have such good items? And now they're lowering those chances. It's like, yeah, that's fine, I think. Because I think that's the gambit of thieves gloves. Thieves gloves is supposed to be like really efficient early, and late game if you have really quality units, they're good. But it shouldn't be like a free, like, oh, I just slammed this on a tank because I had a bunch of gloves, and all of a sudden everybody has bis items. It's like, well, then what's the point of ever making good items? You can just make thieves gloves all the time, and it kind of just skews everything. It makes it like kind of weird. So I don't know. I think that's like, I think this plays into the quality of the item and what it should be, right? Or what at least I think it should be. All right. Okay, emotional connection bug. I knew about this. That's a good change. Radiant Nashers on Twisted Fate didn't work. Okay, I didn't know about that. Illusion number of shots correctly scales. I thought they fixed this bug already. I was talking to somebody in my Discord, not my Discord, in a study group Discord. I thought they changed this. I guess it was still buggy. Nasher's tooth fix, okay. Illusion number of shots will no longer scale past 5. Oh, maybe it like got rebugged. Yeah. I think I heard about that. Rest can now properly damage CC immune units. Crazy. Akali no longer sometimes messes with non-Akali's headlighter traits. Ah! Yeah. I think I know about this bug, but it never happened to me. But I saw it and I was like, that's funny. True Magic Akali can no longer bypass the 3-star 4-cost rule. What? I don't know what that means. Scrappy Inventions now gives components as intended. I didn't know what that means. I never had that. I took Scrappy's Inventions. When super events pop off, those items can now return to your bench at the appropriate speed. Good change! Sometimes it took way too fucking long. Salvage bin can no longer grant a spatula as a random. Okay, that's a good change. I didn't even know it can do that. That's crazy. Disco Ball is no longer permanently deleted by Recon Bob. That happened to me. I think that's the bug that happened. There's a bug in my video, my Jazz video, where I Recon Bobbed and my Disco Ball disappeared and I couldn't play Disco, and I was fucking upset. And that was like back in the beginning of the game. That was like in patch 1 of the set. And I did not know it was because of Recon Bob, but I remember I saw videos after, like in the past like week or two, where people lost their disco ball. I was watching streams and I was like, what? That happened to me. And they were talking about it. I was like, is that why it happened? I watched my video and I used Recon Bob in that game. And I finally have closure. And everybody here has closure as well, which is crazy that it took this long. Anyways, because that was like, I think it's literally my first video of the set. I think, or it's my second video of the set no, it was my first video of the set that happened. I think I was in, after PB, my first game. Heart steal, 3,000 art cash out, that's fine. All screens hit, whatever. That's fine. Alright, those are the patch notes. What's a little quick summary that I think? I think Karthus is giga buffed. I think TF is giga nerfed. I think everything else is like slightly changed. I'll probably put like the Lulu in the thumbnail if like they buffed this unit, because I think that this is crazy. Yeah, I gotta work on the thumbnail now. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully what I said made sense. I might have rambled a little bit, especially when I was talking about Heartsteel, but hopefully it all made sense to you. If you enjoyed these types of videos, please make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll be back to doing normal content probably tomorrow. I'll be doing VOD reviews and we'll see how that goes. Anyways, bye bye.